Hey, and welcome to the opening of the 31st and 32nd pack of Ikoria booster packs from the Ikoria booster box, and of course, an extra pack from Pharaohs Beyond Death and one from Throne of Eldraine. So let's get into here. Oh, there's two packs there. So the throne there. Couple of Ikoria here, and of course the Theros. Let's get the boxes out of the way here. Okay, so again, just mixing it up a little bit. Think we're going to go Ikoria, Theros, Ikoria, and Throne. So let's put these up here, and let's see what we've got. All right, let's see here. Okay, the first card that we have is a common white creature, a cat, the Savay Sabertooth. So it costs 1 and a white to cast, and it's a 3/1 creature. There we go. Oh, you can hear the music in the background. Yeah, somebody just parked outside with a huge stereo. So I'm just going to close my windows. There we go. No more disturbing background noises from people that don't know that other people are enjoying a little bit of peace and quiet on this Friday. Okay, so we're on the Ikoria. So this is another black creature, a common, the durable coil bug. So it's a insect. It's a 2/2 that cost 1 and a black to cast. And for 4 and a black, return durable coil bug from your graveyard to your hand. So you can get it back from the graveyard. Then we have a Flycatcher Garrafid. So it's a green common creature, an antelope wizard, a lizard. It's a 3/5 and it costs 4 and a green to cast. And it says Flycatcher Garrafid enters the battlefield with your choice of a vigilant counter or a reach counter on it. Then we have a Phase Dolphin. So a blue common creature, a elemental whale that costs 2 and a blue to cast. It's a 1/4, and it says whenever Phase Dolphin attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. So pretty cool. And then we have Tentative Connection. So it's a red common sorcery that costs 3 and a red to cast, and it says this spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with menace. And it says gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. And then we have a white common, instant, the Blade Banish. So it costs 3 and a white to cast, and it says exile target creature with power 4 or greater. So good to exile those large creatures. And then we have a red common creature, a monkey. It's the Prickly Marmoset. It's a 2/3 with first strike. It costs 2 and a red to cast. And it says whenever you cycle a card, Prickly Marmoset gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So pretty cool. Ooh, and then we have one of the alternate arts. So I do like these alternate arts, these kind of cartoon or comic book art cards. So it's a white common creature, a foxbird, the Vulpikeet. So it's a 2/3 creature that has mutate and flying. It costs 3 and a white to cast. And it says whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 to counter on it. And then we have an artifact, a common artifact that costs 2 to cast. It's the Sleeper Dart. So it says when Sleeper Dart enters the battlefield, draw a card, and for tapping, sacrifice Sleeper Dart. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So a good way to neutralize a creature with that. Then we have a Mysterious Egg, a creature, colorless. It's an egg, costs 1 to cast. It's a 0/2, and it says whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then for the uncommons, the first one we have here is a black uncommon creature, the Chittering Harvester. So it's a 4/6 that costs 5 and a black to cast. It's a nightmare that has mutate, and it says whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Then we have the Channeled Force, a multicolor instant uncommon that costs 2 and a blue and a red to cast. And it says as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard X cards. Target player draws X cards. Channeled Force deals X damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Oh, pretty cool. Then we have a red uncommon creature, a lizard, the Rooting Moloch. So it's a 4/4, it costs 4 and a red to cast, and it says when Rooting Moloch enters the battlefield, exile target card with a cycle ability from your graveyard. Until the end of turn of your next turn, you may play that card, and it also has cycling for 2. And then for the rare, we have a multicolor legendary creature. It's a cat beast. It's the Kahira the Orphan Guard. So it costs 1 and either 2 green or 2 white to cast. It's a 3/2. It has companion that says each creature in your starting deck is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast card. It also has vigilance, and it says each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. So a great boost card there. And then we have a Blooming Sands. So a common land there that enters the battlefield tapped, gains you 1 life, and you can get either a green or white mana from it. And of course a counter. All right, let's get into the Pharaohs Beyond Death pack here. All of a sudden it became nice and quiet after I closed the window. All right. Let's see here. The first card we have from Pharaohs Beyond Death is Sleep of the Dead. It's a blue common sorcery that costs 1 blue to cast, and it says tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and it also has escape for 2 and a blue that says exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Then we have Wings of Hubris. So it's a common artifact equipment that costs 2 to cast, Equipped creature has flying, sacrifice Wings of Hubris. Equipped creature can't be blocked this turn, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next step, and it also has an equipped for 1. Then we have a common red creature, the Hero of the Games. So it's a human soldier that costs 2 and a red to cast. It's a 3/2 and says whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Games, creatures you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Kind of a nice boost there. Then we have Omen of the Dead, a common black enchantment that costs 1 to cast. It has flash and it says when Omen of the Dead enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And for 2 and a black, sacrifice Omen of the Dead and you can scry 2. Then we have Omen of the Sea, another Omen. So this is a blue common enchantment that costs 1 and a blue to cast, also has flash, and it says when Omen of the Sea enters the battlefield, scry 2, then draw a card. And for 2 and a blue, sacrifice Omen of the Sea, and you can scry 2. And we have a common red enchantment creature, a Cyclops, the Nyxborn Brute. So it costs 3 and 2 red to cast, and it's a 7/3 creature. Then we have a green common creature. It's the Hyrax Tower Scout. It's a human scout that is a 3/3, costs 2 and a green to cast. And it says when Hyrax Tower Scout enters the battlefield, untap target creature. Oh, pretty cool to get to untap one of your creatures. Then we have Lionin of the Lost Pride. So it's a white common creature, a cat warrior that costs 1 and a white to cast. It's a 3/1 and it says, well, when Lionin of the Lost Pride dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. And we have a black common enchantment creature, a Minotaur. So it's the Nyxborn Marauder. It costs 2 and 2 black to cast, and it is a 4/3 creature. Enchantment creature, sorry. And then for the uncommons, we have a Citizen's Petitioner, I think. It's a green uncommon creature, a human druid. It's a 2/2 that costs 1 and 2 green to cast, and it says when Citizen Petitioner enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to your devotion to green. So pretty cool if you have a lot of green mana. Then we have a Sea Guard's Scorn, a blue uncommon sorcery that costs 4 and 2 blue to cast, and it says return up to 3 target creatures and enchantments to their owner's hands. So pretty cool, and I like the artwork there, this kind of flood. You can see it there, very nice. Then we have another uncommon, this time it's a red uncommon enchantment, the Furious Rise. So it costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with Furious Rise. Oh, and then we have a mythic multicolor legendary creature, a Elder Giant. So it's Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. It costs 1 and a green and a blue to cast. It's a 6/6. And it says when Uro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escapes. It escaped. So it says whenever Uro enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand into the battlefield. And it has escape for 2 green and 2 blue. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard for its escape cost. Pretty cool. Very nice mythic there. And then we have a mountain. Ooh, and we do have, let's see here, we have a foil, a uncommon white enchantment saga. So the Birth of Meletis. It cost 1 and a white to cast, and the first one of the saga is search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. The second is create a 0/4 colorless wall artifact creature token with Defender, and the third is you gain 2 life. So pretty cool, and also very nice foiling on that. I really like the way that actually looks. All right, and then we have a gold token. All right, let's take the 32nd Ikoria Pact from the box. See what we have in that. There we go. All right, the first card of the 32nd pack is Unlikely Aid. So it's a black common instant that costs 1 and a black to cast, and it says target creature gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Then we have another flycatcher Garafit. Then we have a Wingfold Petron, I think. It's a common creature, blue creature, a dinosaur that's a 3/6 and costs 5 and a blue to cast. And it says Wingfold Petron enters the battlefield with your choice of a flying counter or hexproof counter on it. Then we have the Forbidden Friendship. So it's a red common sorcery that costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says create a 1/1 red dinosaur creature token with haste and a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Then we have Spontaneous Flight. So it's a white common instant that costs 2 and a white to cast, and it says target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. Then we have a black common creature, a human soldier, the Night Squad Commando. So it costs 2 and a black to cast. It's a 2/3 creature, and it says when Night Squad Commando enters the battlefield, if you attacked this turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So pretty cool to get an extra token out of that. Then we have a blue common creature, the Aegis Turtle, and it's a turtle. It costs 1 blue to cast, and it's a 0/5 creature. Then we have the Springjaw Trap. It's a common artifact that costs 1 to cast. It has flash, and for 4 and tapping it, you can sacrifice Springjaw Trap, and it deals 3 damage to any target. And we have a black common, a black common creature. It's a beast, the Boot Nipper. So it's a 2/1 creature that costs 1 and a black to cast, and it says Boot Nipper enters the battlefield with your choice of a Death Touch counter or a Life Link counter on it. Again, I do like these cards where you kind of get to choose which counter or which ability you actually want the creatures to have when you cast them. Alright, then into the uncommons, we have the Porcuparrot. So it's a uncommon red creature, a bird beast, that costs 3 and a red to cast. It's a 3/4. It has mutate, and for tapping it, it says this creature deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. So for 2 and a red, you can mutate this creature. Very nice. Oh, goes up there. Then we have another uncommon. This time it's a multicolor sonorous howlbounder. So a howlbounder. It's a multicolor creature, a human warrior, a 2/2. It costs 1 and either 2 black or 2 red to cast. It has menace, and it says each creature you control with menace can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Then we have Clash of the Titans. Oh, this is a cool card. It's a uncommon red instant that costs 3 and 2 red to cast, and it says target creature fights another target creature. Pretty cool. I like the artwork on that. That's really in the Godzilla theme there. Clash of Titans. Nice. I don't think I have this yet. All right. Ooh, and then we have the Sharknado card. So we have the Shark Typhoon, or more or less it's a Sharknado, but it's a blue rare enchantment that costs 5 and a blue to cast. It's Shark Typhoon, and it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. It has cycling for X and a mana and a blue, and it says when you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue creature token with flying. So very, very cool. I'm glad I got that. That's kind of one of the special cards of the set. And then we have a Thornwood Falls, a common land, and it enters the battlefield tapped. It gains you 1 life, and you can either get a green or a blue mana. Oh, and then we have a foil black common. It's the Cavern Whisperer. So it's a creature, a nightmare that costs 4 and a black to cast. It has mutate for 3 and a black. It also has menace, and it says this card, whenever this card mutates, each opponent discards a card, was what I was supposed to say. And again, I do love the new kind of foiling here, where it kind of foils only on particular details of the card. I really do like that. All right, cool. And then we have a human soldier token. All right, last pack. So now we're getting into the Throne of Eldraine. Let's see if we can be lucky and get another mythic rare. All right, let's see here. The first one from Throne of Eldraine is a common red instant, the Scorching Dragonfire, that costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says Scorching Dragonfire deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. And then we have a Vantress Paladin. So it's a common blue creature, a human knight, that costs 3 and a blue to cast. It's a 2/2 flying, and it has adamant that says if at least 3 blue mana was spent to cast the spell, Vantress Paladin enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Then we have a black common creature, a human warlock. It's the Burrow Witches. It's a 3/4 creature that costs 4 and a black to cast, and it says when Burrow Witches enters the battlefield, return target knight card from your graveyard to your hand. So great for those knight decks. Then we have the 7 Dwarves, a red common creature, a dwarf. It's a 2/2 that costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says when 7 dwarves gets +1/+1 for each other creature. Oh, 7 dwarves gets +1/+1 for each other creature named 7 dwarves you control. So good for a standard deck. A deck can have up to 7 cards named 7 dwarves. So you can actually have 7 of these instead of the regular 4. Pretty cool. And then we have the Queen of Ice. It's a blue common creature, a human noble wizard. It's a 2/3 that has an adventure ability. It costs 2 and a blue, and it says whenever Queen of Ice deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It does not untap during its controller's next untap step. And the adventure, Rage of Winter, it's for 1 and a blue. It says tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Then we have a white common creature, a unicorn, the Lonesome Unicorn. So it's a 3/3 creature with vigilance. It costs 4 and a white to cast, and it has adventure, so Rider in Need for 2 and a white. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So for the adventure ability there. Then we have the Ginger Brute. So it's a common artifact creature, a food golem that costs 1 to cast. It has haste. It's a 1/1. And for 1 mana, it says Ginger Brute can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. And for 2 and tapping it, sacrifice Ginger Brute, you gain 3 life. Then we have a common land, a forest, the Gingerbread Cabin. So you can add a forest, of course, to your mana pool, and it says Gingerbread Cabin enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more forests. And when Gingerbread Cabin enters the battlefield untapped, create a food token. So pretty good, again, to get those food tokens going. Then we have a common green. We have the Garenbrig Carver. So it's a 3/2 creature, a human warrior that costs 3 and a black and a green to cast. Sorry, it has adventure, shields, might for 1 and a green. It's an instant, and it says target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Then we have a common blue artifact creature. It's the Corridor Monitor. So it costs 1 and a blue to cast, and it's a 1/4 creature. And it says when Corridor Monitor enters the battlefield, untap target artifact or creature you control. Pretty good to get those creatures untapped. Then for one of the uncommons, we have the Glass Casket. So it's a white artifact that costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says when Glass Casket enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves the battlefield. So again, to kind of neutralize some of the enemy's creatures or opponent's creatures. Then we have another uncommon. This time it's a red uncommon creature, a human knight, the Burning Yard Trainer. So it's a 3/3 creature with trample and haste. It costs 4 and a red to cast, and it says when Burning Yard Trainer enters the battlefield, another target knight you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. Again, great for those knight decks. Then we have a uncommon multicolor creature, a giant, the Rampart Smasher. So for 4 either red or green, you get a 5/5 creature, and it says Rampart Smasher can't be blocked by knights or walls. So great against those knight decks. And then we have, for the rare, we have a Lochmere Serpent. So it's a multicolor rare creature, a serpent that costs 4 and a blue and a black to cast. It's a 7/7 creature that has flash, and for a blue, sacrifice an island. Lochmere Serpent can't be blocked this turn. For a black, sacrifice a swamp. You gain 1 life and draw a card, and for a blue and a black, exile 5 target cards from an opponent's graveyard. Return Lochmere from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So pretty cool card there, actually. Pretty cool serpent. And then we have an island and a token card. All right. So this was the contents of the 31st and 32nd pack from the Ikoria booster box, and of course the extra pack from Theros Beyond D and from Throne of Eldraine, and those are from bundle packs. So if you did like the video, please leave a like, and if you have any comments for me, please don't hesitate to leave a comment as well. If you do want notification about upcoming streams, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Then you'll get the notifications on upcoming streams. And I also post it on my other social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter at ZodiacDK. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.